Have you ever wondered what hypnosis might be and what it can do for you? You've come to the right place. Welcome to Hypnosis-Everywhere with your host, Inez Simpson. This is the show that talks to everyone, from the experienced practitioner to the cautiously curious, and yes, even the skeptics. Now, here's Inez Simpson.
Well, hello and welcome back to Hypnosis Everywhere. And we're having a great show today. I have a friend of mine, as usual, on, who is from Brazil and is the president of Sleep Talk Brazil. And Raphaela Alencar, and she is a very good hypnotist. I have to say, not just because we're friends, because we became friends after I knew she was a good hypnotist. So, you know, in Brazil, hypnosis is a very big thing, and they have the greatest YouTube channels with lots and lots of guys doing hypnosis. Well, I think that Raphaela has made it to the big leagues, but even being a woman, because the woman thing, I know it's, you say, yeah, it's always the same, but you know what? The woman has to work a lot harder to get where she is. So I really want to commend her on that, and I love that she's there. So first thing we want to do is we're going to do some talk about what Sleep Talk's all about. And maybe Raphaela, you want to say hello to home in Portuguese first, and then and then talk a little bit about what Sleep Talk is and about how you came to hypnosis and what you believe hypnosis does or is. Okay?
Sure. Thank you, Inez. Hola, Voice America. Here is Raphaela Alencar. It's really nice meeting you here. It's totally a pleasure. So I want to thank first Inez for this invitation. I believe it's going to be an incredible show. So talking about Sleep Talk, Inez, is something really interesting because Sleep Talk, it's not only hypnosis itself, but it goes beyond. Actually, Sleep Talk, I say that Sleep Talk is an emotional development program for children that develops and empowers children while they sleep. So facilitating also the resolution of problems such as tantrums, anxiety, speech problems, meal problems, and many, many others. So it's a very simple and non-intrusive method that the parents apply to their children when they are sleeping. So it's something really empowering because it's a method that changes all the belief system of the children. And it's something that I could say that parents can see that as a second chance of raising their children and try to undo any harm they've been doing so far.
Okay, so how did you come to hypnosis?
Oh, actually, my journey to hypnosis started when like many years ago, I was teaching English for many students in a language school. And suddenly 3 years after, we had a financial problem here in Brazil. And lots of people just started questioning about their financial lives and all this stuff. And many students started just getting worried about what they would do with their future, with their English. And many of them just came to me and said, you know, teacher, I love you. I don't know what to do. I want to keep doing the study, but I don't know what to do because I have no money anymore. And then I just encouraged all them to just check what was the priority of their lives. And the school didn't like it. So one day, suddenly, they suddenly just locked me in a room. They turned off the cameras. They turned off the mics. They just got the curtains closed. And then they started just saying lots of bad things to me. All like emotional and psychological issues, you know? And I got really sad about that. But I started asking myself why they had to do that with me. And then I discovered that lots of my more than 300 students just started asking to have classes with me again. And they were trying to force me to quit my job. And I just took some days off to think about, to reflect what actually was happening to my life, and what kind of connection I had with all my students. And during these days, I started researching, and that by that time, actually back in that time, we didn't have the internet we do nowadays. So I went to the library and started just reading some books to understand what was actually happening with me. And then I just found a word that changed my life forever. And that word is rapport. And then I started just studying more and more about rapport. And I started just studying NLP. And started studying NLP, I just came to hypnosis, and here I am. And everything in my life, yes, yeah, everything in my life changed forever.
Well, I'm quite glad that it changed forever, because I wouldn't be talking to you. So it's great. So I know that's what sleep talk's about pretty much, but I want you to really explain it well, because you have a great audience. Most of the audience is not hypnotists, even though we do have some hypnotists. Percentage-wise, it's people who are just got interest. So yeah. I'd like you to explain this, because sleep talk is for everybody.
That's true. Well, I think I would just say my elevator pitch, something like I give actually parents a solution by teaching them a process which allows them to improve their children's behaviors, attitudes, and habits by using and applying a process called sleep talk, good sleep talk for children, just a few minutes every night. And I also train professionals in health and educational area to become a good specialist, and just use this method to teach parents, help develop their children. So the sleep talk itself, actually, it's a method which empowers the children in their own belief system. So what we understand that children already have their programmed or programming in their subconscious mind, and most of them are negatives, because we keep listening since we were born that don't do that, it's not something good. What are you? Are you dumb? Are you stupid? You're not supposed to take this glass. You know what? That's something you gotta do. Are you dumb? Like, look at your grade. You are supposed to take a 10 here in Brazil, or A in other countries. So we keep listening bad things when we are children, because I believe that parents do not know how to become parents. So sleep talk just interferes in that belief system, change this negative belief system, and transform into a positive belief system. So we can understand that sleep talk, by doing that, creates in the child especially three things: self-esteem.
I just want to mention that there is a lot of wind and storm at your place. So every now and then we get this blast of sound. So no worries. Just know that there's storm in the background.
Hey, it is, guys. It's raining a lot. That's why our country and our city is called rainy state. Yeah, it rains a lot. Whoa. So yeah, as I was saying, the sleep talk develops at least the most three important things that science understands that it's important for our lives: emotional resilience, positive self-image, and self-esteem. So sleep talk empowering the children and changing their belief system offers them a way, a simple and fast way to develop those three factors that will change their lives for good. And when I say like change their life for good, it's because when the child or we as adults get all those three, we get more powerful. And when we get more powerful, we feel secure, we feel loved, we feel powerful to deal with our own frustration, to deal with any difficulties in life, and face any problems with more positive thinking. So that's what actually Sleep Talk does and offers for children.
I know that Sleep Talk does a great many things. The only thing I know too is that it brings the parents online to becoming, they're taking responsibility for helping their kids grow. And that's a good thing. So, you know, there's always going to be some people that don't want to do it. It's too much work or whatever, but they're missing the boat on this.
That's true.
Yeah. So I know that little kids, when you talk to them in their sleep, they're very present.
Yeah, that's true. And just to take this, as you were saying, Ines, there's something really important to say that sleep talk is not a therapy at all. And it's not a therapeutical method either, but it is a process, what I call development program, which allows the children get therapeutical results, which is totally different from therapy itself.
Yeah, because what they're doing is going to build a foundation, right? They're building a foundation for the children, and those things change their attitudes, and everything is done by their own change. Yeah. And, you know, I think you know this, the Dave Ellman in the day when he was bringing up his kids when they were little, he used to sneak into their room and talk to them in their sleep. So Joan Golding in Australia then had an issue with her own daughter, and she wanted to create this, and she created a beautiful system for people to use, right? But it's not that it's new to us. It's sometimes that we just don't think of using it.
That's true. That's true. And lots of people, especially parents, think that it's something that you know what, I just go there, I just check my son, and I just say positive things to him. But it's not how it works, actually. No. Sleep Talk has a structure. It was studied. It was proved by a group of psychologists. It has its own foundation on neuroscience when we talk about neuroplasticity, or when we talk about the REST system, you know. So it's something that with that structure, we have a goal, a specific goal. That's why Sleep Talk actually has 3 phases. The first phase, we talk about the foundation. We empower the children feel loved, because most of their attitudes and most of their habits, they do that because they do not feel loved. They feel challenged. They think that their parents do not love them, because feeling loved, it's not about listening that someone loves you. It's about attitude. It's about showing with action. So parents think like saying, kiddo, I just love you, mommy love you, daddy loves you, but it's not like that. You gotta show, you gotta demonstrating action to that child, so she can or he can understand what love really means. And that's what we call unconditional love. Because when you say, daddy loves you, mommy loves you, but you start screaming and yelling at him or her, you create a mental confusion with this child. So you know what, like, mommy says that she loves me, but she keeps yelling at me. She keeps just telling that I'm stupid, telling me that I'm not enough, that she's gonna abandon me if I don't stay here, that she's gonna just forget about me if I talk to any stranger. So it's not love, not in the child's mind. And that's what we focus. We don't focus only on the parents, but we focus on the children,
Yeah.
understanding how they feel about that.
And so what we would say is that actions always speak louder than words, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
sure.
when they coordinate their actions with the words, that's when you really go and the kids hear the right way, because it is now congruence instead of fighting it. You know.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
there's really the parenting thing is, nobody's ever had classes in parenting. Ever.
True.
Now, except now we have quite a few hypnotists doing training and with the parents and the child. And so, but sleep talk will address those issues for a child easily. But like you say, the clients, being the parents, have to become a little more congruent and aware of what they're doing.
Yeah. And that's why sleep talk works, because it's not about me as professional applying the process, but the parents themselves.
Yeah.
They are the first educators, and they are responsible of their own children. So they have the power to change everything they want to.
And it'll make their own life much easier. People say, oh, I can't be bothered, not about that. I have to learn more stuff, blah, blah, blah. But if you do, it's very minimal understanding of what you need to do. You have to become aware yourself, right? And after that, and once they do it, it'll change their family life and their own lives so much, even besides just getting their children happy.
That's true.
So,
and that's what we call sleep talk as a 3-minute happiness gift that lasts forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I love that I like spreading the word of sleep talk. I think it's a very important thing. I've also been spreading the word about people doing training with parents to tell them how to speak to their child instead of the yelling and the whatever. But there's language is important. So you have NLP background, all that kind of stuff, but we know how much words affect people.
That's true. And that's what it's hypnosis about, right?
Yeah.
Communication. It's not only about words, but it's how you behave. It's about action.
It has to be all together, for sure. So we're going to go to break in just a very little time. So we just got a minute. Can you just tie up what we've talked about right now, and then we'll go to break?
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. Go ahead. No, we're not going to break yet. I just said, we will be now.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Okay, so we'll see you on the other side after the break, and we'll do some more talk about sleep talk and a few other things. See you then.
See you.
America, health and wellness.
You're listening to Hypnosis-Everywhere, the Simpson Protocol. To reach the show today, send an email to Inez, that's INES, at InezSimpson.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Well, welcome back, everybody, and we're talking about sleep talk. And without too much ado here, I'm going to just pass it right back to Raphaela, and so she can talk to us about sleep talk.
Okay, thank you, Inez. So as we were talking, actually, some people can say, I love you, not even to their children. So it doesn't mean that they don't love the child, yet the importance and the impact of these 3 words is paramount, right? Yeah. So actually, the expression of love for children has been a focus of John Gooding's life for more than 40 years. And we're going to talk about this a little more. John Gooding, the creator of the process, developed this program called Gooding Sleep Talk for Children. And it was actually designed to ensure that a child knows that he or she is loved and lovable. And by feeling that, feels empowered to change their negative habits and attitudes towards life. Okay, so John says actually that at the very least, the program will assist the child to be happy. So it's not something that you're gonna do with a child because he or she has some problems or some questions to develop. But when the parent understands that it's a program that will empowers their own children to face life easily, they will be welcomed to be part of this. So actually, the bottom line is that if people feel good about themselves, they can cope better with whatever life hands out to them. And I think we all agree with that, right? We cannot stand guard over our children 24 hours a day. So does that make any sense for you?
So that makes a huge sense to me, but the whole ultimate thing is that clients, I mean, the parents have to take responsibility for the child, right? And if they can get that child empowered, that's a huge thing in life. People are always wanting to help their kids get through life, because life isn't easy all the time. There's things happen. But if you are already empowered and strong, you can deal with them much easier. So it is actually more important than picking out one little issue or something. I want them to spell better or whatever. It's about it'll affect everything in their life, right?
That's true. And most parents actually would agree that the most important skill for a child is the ability to deal with the life's trials, right? So John notes that the physical and mental fitness of children is encouraged through sport and study, but a child's emotional fitness can often be neglected. And that's
Yes.
true. And that's totally true, you know?
And
So I believe that if we have the belief that we are unconditionally loved by our primary careers, we have an inborn sense of security, confidence, and self-image, and that's all about.
And the other thing is that many people, especially if they have to work a lot or they whatever, they always feel that they have no time, and then they sometimes react badly at times. So this is a program that doesn't take a lot of time. It takes consistent time,
Yes,
right?
that's true. That's true. That's something you're gonna do every day. Something you already does actually. You already tell your son that you love him, that you hope he feels okay and happy and all that stuff. So doing the process takes you what? Maximum 5 minutes a night. It's just
Yeah.
a different way to tell your son that you love him, but during the night in their sleep, because it's the right moment, the right frequency will be taken to change their unconscious belief system, and that's the point.
Mm.
You talk to the subconscious mind while you are just reinforcing everything that you were saying and you were doing at the waking time. So you are creating a balance of that. You are being coherent about what you say and what you do.
And then they keep themselves aware, the adults, so that they are in sync with that when they're talking to their children. I mean, all of us lose it once in a blue moon, but it's very great if you can talk to your kids. I'm so astounded. I watch my children compared to what I was like when I was young. Nobody teaches you much of anything, but the generations today are much willing to talk to the child, explain things, and before sit there and don't speak, that kind of attitude, the old attitude. So
Yeah.
with the new attitude, these people are taking responsibility, turning out functional human beings.
That's true. That's what we know about a quote, really famous quote that I believe like deep in my heart. Whatever you believe deepest in your heart, it will be accorded unto you. So you create a sense of strong and positive beliefs into the children's subconscious mind, what we call the belief system, right?
Yeah, that's it's much stronger than that part that they only hear things, and we always speak in the negative and all that kind of thing. So what the Golding process does is also teach adults how to speak in the right way.
That's right. That's all sleep talk is about. And sleep talk actually it's not only for families, it's not only for parents, but we as professionals, we can become coding specialists to train families, to train parents to give their best to their children.
So it's sort of like they become their own coach, right?
Kind of, yes.
Kind of like that. It's
Yeah.
and so I also want to sort of go a little bit into the direction of the hypnosis community and how you're also very much at the top of that heap, and it's a big place. The reason is that you've become an international speaker, you've done all kinds of stuff. So I want you not to be shy. And tell us about a little bit about the Brazilian hypnosis quality and the quality of people that are great hypnotists, that, you know, and that is, you are one of them. I'm going to say it for you so you don't have to say it.
Well, you're right. Like we are, surprisingly, we are a big community here in Brazil working with hypnosis, and we are increasing like every time, every month, every day. We just meet more and more hypnotists. But I gotta say that becoming a hypnotist is not something that just allows you to take a course or put this into practice. I believe that becoming a great hypnotist is about practicing what you know and creating experiences and changing people's lives somehow. So I believe that hypnosis is not only about a communication, but it's how we communicate with ourselves and with others. So here in Brazil, we have lots of great hypnotists and hypnotherapists. We have been doing great great things here. We are just building knowledge and experiences for people because, and that's something interesting because lots of people here in Brazil still do not believe in that.
I think that's everywhere. That's what this show's about.
Yeah, it is. It is. Hypnosis everywhere. But you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you, Ines. Our culture it's a little different from the others we do know about. So we are more like, how can I say? We are more passive than active. So we believe in what people say. We just do what people say, tell us to do. So it's something a little difficult to spread hypnosis word, but it's working. It's been working because we've been doing a great job about that. So that's why I believe that my own belief of changing people's lives and just offering new opportunities for all of them just made me become what I am today. So I never thought about, it was actually a dream becoming an international speaker and all those stuff. And now I am. But I am because of what I understood that hypnosis is. Because hypnosis is something more deep and more profound than just believing it exists. It's about connecting to your higher self. It's about believing in yourself. It's about believing that you have what we usually say, that we have the power to change things in your life. And I believe that hypnosis is not only communication. It's not only I don't know, a feeling, but I believe that it's something, it's a connection. It's about belief. So,
Yes.
and my belief just brought me here where I am today.
Yeah, and I've been to Brazil, obviously, because I've met you. You actually translated my first training in Brazil, and that's how we got to become friends. And I found out, wow, You're now become a hypnosis trainer, right? And you also treat and do training of sleep talk, training of Simpson protocol is on your agenda too. And you're such a great coach, right? And that's what I find is very important, because people do not always understand what their hypnosis is, which you were just talking about. And hypnosis is about connection. It's about being open to possibility of change. When you are restricting yourself by your own self-talk, all those things which we address. And it's very important. And I was so astounded at how the community, at least the people that came to my classes, were astoundingly enthusiastic.
That's true.
And that's what I think is incredible. So
That's true.
that's a little more rah for you, but I think it's important because Brazil is a huge place. I mean, there's just 14 million people in Sao Paulo or somewhere where you're teaching. And Brazil, besides that, is much bigger than that. So it's a huge community of people. And if you can get people to start getting their kids on the right track, they get themselves on the right track, things will improve no matter what. Because it just a general thing is that you improve if you get the person to improve their lot or their thinking or their feeling. And it's all about connection and deep understanding that you are possible to get better.
That's true. You're totally right. And that's what actually is happening here. As I mentioned before, we've been doing a great job here, just spreading hypnosis knowledge and practice and experience and all this stuff. So we've been participating in conventions, in workshops. I also had the opportunity to train personalities like famous people here in Brazil, because they allowed themselves to be open and understand hypnosis and understand that hypnosis is about development. It's not about being controlled or all this myth we know that surrounds hypnosis itself, you know? So it's really great working with hypnosis, because it's not something that you can work only with one thing. You can use hypnosis for everything in your life, for therapy, as learning, as development, emotional development, physical development. So lots of people keep knowing more and more about that because of the job we've been doing here on televisions. I had the opportunity to be interviewed by TV shows, by radio programs, by podcasts. So it's something like really incredible. And I believe that this change will keep being happening, and we will increase the hypnosis followers.
So I was just going to say that because you were saying that in your culture, you do what you're told and you do move along. But maybe some people will understand when they become taking hypnosis for whatever that is, that they can move on and things improve. And it doesn't mean they challenge everything that's said or anything, but they become empowered to do what's right for them. So, society is also a reflection of the individual, right? So as the individuals grow, so does the society.
That's true.
That's what you're doing.
And we are growing ourselves, and that makes me really happy. We are representing Brazil outside, like abroad, and that's something that, to be sincere, nobody would imagine that it would happen at all. So I'll be lecturing in Amsterdam in September this year. Once again, last year was in Canada in March. Now I'll be in Asia talking about sleep talk. I'll be in Vietnam. So I would never imagine being there.
No. And it's been a short while from the first day I met you. It's been a very rocket ship ride for you. And I'm really proud of that, and I'm proud of you. So understand that when people do this, it means that they put their heart and soul into the changes of the people that they're working with. They're not just talking words. They're passionate about hypnosis. I mean, I'm passionate about hypnosis, and people know that, but I want them to understand that the community, including you, in Brazil is on the way up big time. And it's nice to see them coming out and telling other parts of the world about how they're growing.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. You're totally right. So we are glad that things are getting better. Opportunities are happening. People have been reached by hypnosis and changing their lives for good. So I believe that it's just the beginning. Better will come, and better results will just pop up, and we'll be here to just to congratulate everybody, especially us Brazilians, because our culture is like as many of you have a different view for us from abroad. So I believe that we, we are now representing better than we used to in the past few years.
Well, I'm very astounded when I go there. It's one of my favorite places to drop in, just because of the enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, we are. I think sometimes more than we should.
So, you've done lots of sleep talk in Brazil.
Yeah,
And
Brazil and abroad actually. I train people abroad also, Brazilians and not Brazilians, because people can take the training online. So lots of people from Canada, from States, from Portugal. So it's a huge opportunity. You don't have to be present to be part of this, to be part of this Gooding family.
yeah, and that's important because there's certain things in hypnosis like SP or Simpson protocol I don't like to teach online except after the fact of live training. But sleep talk is such an easy thing to learn. That's why it's made for parents. It's not made for hypnotists who have vast experience already. And I think it's works really well. So when is do you do it how many times a year in Brazil itself do you teach sleep talk? Or I know you're doing it separate online, but teaching people to teach yourself Golding for hypnotists.
When it's live, most of the times twice a year.
Okay, perfect. And with that, I think we'll just go to break and we'll be back momentarily.
Protocol. To reach the show today, send an email to Inez, that's INES, at InezSimpson.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Well, welcome back to our last increment of the show. And I was just going to talk to Raphaela again about all the things, but I really want to talk to her a little bit. I already told you that she was my interpreter for my first class. And from there, she's now become the trainer for Simpson Protocol in Brazil. So I just want to know how you feel about that journey, or just tell us something about it.
Wow. Tell something about Simpson Protocol. It seems to be easy, but it's not, because it's a protocol so profound, so that offers a really deep connection with our mind, with our higher self, with our, that I have no words actually to express what I feel about it, because it goes beyond what we know about the traditional hypnosis. It goes beyond about just going down into different phases or different levels of hypnosis, because it's not about hypnosis levels themselves. It's about the connection you create with yourself, with your mind, with your higher self. That's the name that I like to give. So Simpson Protocol for me, it's something that gives the opportunity to go deeper and deeper and deeper, not only for results, but for development. Because most of the times we only look for hypnosis, or we just go after a professional who can help us because we want to try to solve a problem. We almost, or we hardly ever think about improving ourselves. We just want things go away. We just want the problems fade away. And I think it's not only about that. Life, it's not only about just taking the problems away, but it's just connecting with yourself and just grow and develop more than you believe that you could.
It has some similarities to the idea of sleep talk, because you
Oh,
are
yeah.
building a foundation for those children. And what we're doing is, for those people who didn't get that foundation, we are building a foundation for them and doing that. And if that's all we did, that would be great, because they would be caught up to where those kids, except they have 30 or 40 years of living or whatever it is, and that we need to address the things that will move them forward. So, but the foundation is, not many things are giving people a foundation. And that, I think, is the biggest thing about sleep talk and Simpson protocol, is that we address those things. And that's the important part. So that's great. So I'm very happy that you're doing the teachings. I did a class with you not long ago, and it was astoundingly good. And looking forward to seeing much more of that happening. And it's exciting. And when people, it's an understanding needs to be had by hypnotists that we don't just have to fix a problem. We don't have to fix a phobia, or we do. It happens in Simpson protocol, but you want to give them more than that. You want to give them holistic help, which that means that you're covering everything their mind needs addressed. And it's up to them, because they're connecting to their higher mind. And that's the way it works.
That's true. It's not about empowering our conscious mind or our feeling of being powerful, but it's about empowering our subconscious mind and all minds that we do believe that exist.
Yeah, and moving into a positive future, right? Who wouldn't want to move into a positive future? I would, for sure. And it's let's say people think, oh, we'll go and get fixed. Right?
Yeah.
And it's not about fixing. It's about getting to a place where the kids are empowered, where you're empowered to move forward and live life.
That's true.
Right?
And enjoy life. Not only live, but enjoy life in its best possibility,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And many times people don't come to us. They're absolutely just having a very hard time. But once you've done this and you've become part of working with your higher mind, you don't ever lose that. That higher mind of you is always there, because it's all part of you. And I think that's different than going to someone and getting something done, like getting an inoculation, doing this. You don't have any part in that. They just stick the needle in you and put that in. But what we do is allow you to change your life and empower yourself. So now I think I'll let you also talk, please, a little bit about all the things you do besides that, coach, trainer, all that stuff. Just give me the whole thing, all the things you do.
The whole bunch.
Yeah, the whole bunch.
Well, as you mentioned, I offer individual coaching sessions, not only here in Brazil, but abroad, because the coaching sessions are online. I also offer trainings about self-development, especially in emotional and mental development. So I just developed some programs. The one that I most like is the neural learning. It's a program that I teach people just try to reach their most potential state of mind that allows them to learn faster. Okay. I also work with development with sleep talk. So I train health and educational professionals with sleep talk, becoming good specialists. And I also offer trainings for development that they're gonna, so they can just develop their best, not only potentials, but abilities to deal and face and enjoy life, just as we were talking about. And Simpson Protocol, just for now only here in Brazil, but we'll be probably getting this to other countries. So that's it.
Okay, I like to hear that. That's good. So, so right now, do you have anything that's going to come up that needs to be talked about, that as precise timing or days or anything like that?
Oh yeah, like I'll be in Vietnam in March to talk about sleep talk. So I'll be just training some people there for a while, but it's a selective group. But feel free, if you just come by, you will be welcomed. I'll be in Amsterdam in September. I'll be speaking at Hypnosis from 18th and 19th this year. I'll be probably offering a workshop and sleep talk official training there. So if you will be in Europe, just come by and meet me there. And also Portugal. So I'll be in Portugal for a sleep talk also, Portugal for a sleep talk training after the convention in Amsterdam. So those are the trainings that we'll be having abroad, not here in Brazil.
Okay, so this goes on podcast, and many times, like on Voice America, all the information will be there when they listen to Voice America podcast. But for the ones that don't always get it, can you give us your website and most important information you want them to have?
For sure. So anything that you want to have and you want to know about me or about what I do, the best social media you can find all this info is my Instagram. So it's at a Rafaela with PH Alencar. So that's my Instagram. The website about sleep talk, especially, you can find in Portuguese. So I don't think it's going to be something easy to spell here for the podcast.
That's okay. We can always just say it in Portuguese.
Okay, so it's www.processogolden.com.br. It is in Portuguese right now, but we are translating into 4 more 2 languages, English and Spanish. So if you don't feel comfortable about Portuguese, don't worry about it. Just you can check the official website. It's www.goldenprocess.com. If you check there, you're gonna find me as a trainer, so you can contact me by there. But if you want to know about other products or services, you want to just talk to me, doesn't matter, just contact me on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll be available for you for sure.
Okay, great. So the availability is great. We've got a couple minutes left. Is there anything that really hits you that you'd like to really promote? You might have said it already, but the most important part, sort of putting it together.
Well, actually, I don't intend to promote more than I have done so far, but I'd like to say something that I believe it's really important. I don't know how much you know about hypnosis or not. I don't know if you already have already heard about sleep talk before or not, but it doesn't matter. What really matters is how's your life today? So what do you dream? What do you wish for your life? So I think it's the great opportunity to make a change for good in your life. Because if you just believe and if you just allow yourself to be open for new opportunities, for a new change, your life will get better for sure.
Well, thank you. And I have to say, it's been a great show. Thank you for coming. And we'll have to say goodbye. And what's on next week, Martin?
We're coming up to the Mesmer program.
Oh, right. We're doing a great program on Mesmer. So we'll see you next week.
See ya, guys. Thank you.
All right, you're clear.
Thanks.
Great job, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Talk to you next week.
Okay.
Okay, you want to try Facebook Live, you guys?
Do you want to breathe first for a second? Go to the washroom or anything?
No, I'm good. I just let me talk to those who are watching me right now. I wanna just in
There's
case
nobody watching now. There's nobody watching.
Yeah, they are here on my Facebook.
Oh, he's gonna message.
Oh, well.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Bom, galera, não sei se vocês conseguiram participar aí da live toda. Na verdade, foi uma live que aconteceu para um programa de rádio no Voice America. Vou passar para vocês todas as informações lá no Instagram. Então, se você não me segue ainda, corre lá para o Instagram, @Raphaela Alencar. Tem muitas novidades muito boas. E essa live que eu fiz aqui no Facebook vai ficar gravada. Eu vou pegar partes dela e partes do nosso podcast aqui para o rádio da Voice America com a Inês Simpson. E vou compartilhar com vocês aí, tanto no Facebook quanto no Instagram, tá bom? Então, cola lá no Instagram, @Raphaela Alencar, e a gente se vê numa próxima. Hoje, inclusive, tem live sobre como desenvolver crianças enquanto elas dormem, tá bom? Vai ser lá no Instagram também. Então, eu espero vocês e obrigado por essa oportunidade. Até mais.